You have a beautiful new song out called Cry for Hope, which is in response to the devastation in Ukraine. So I
Yeah.
want to talk about this song and this sort of the spirit and the mindset behind why you wrote it.
So for years, I'm just moved by what goes on in my community and around the world. I just am. I kind of pay attention to, especially those who are in pain, who are traumatized, who are in slavery. That still blows my mind that we have that kind of stuff going on all around the world. I mean, I think if we really knew, it would just probably make us really depressed. I mean, it's awful. It's how much suppression there is and injustice. And so, I think about that stuff a lot and try to figure out how to do my part and how do you alleviate that and do my part to make some noise that we can certainly do something about this. And then obviously the Ukraine thing happened, and I just can't comprehend how somebody can just go and you just start killing people. I mean, it just blows my mind. So whatever, you see the pictures and you know what's going on, and it just moves me. And a lot of times I don't know what to say. I end up crying, and then the best thing I do is put my fingers on a piano, and it kind of fell out of the sky. It's really different than anything I think I've ever written, and inspired by John Williams, probably Schindler's List a little bit, because I'm a big John Williams fan. But yeah, I don't think I've ever written a melody that haunting,
Mhm.
has a little hope in it. So I just kept going at it and thought, well, I just got to finish this thing. And I just ended up in the studio with a big orchestra, and we did it. And I couldn't be happier. And now I'm finding out that the troops on the ground in Ukraine have heard the song, and it's starting to make its way around that country, which I'm very, very grateful for. So.
Wow, that just gave me chills. What kind of response have you heard from those troops that are feeling this support from you?
Well, so far I've been in touch with, well, through a friend who's working on something else for me, but has a heart for Ukraine and knows a lot of people there. And he is a really good friend with a journalist there named Anna, and she was extremely moved. So she's sort of spreading the song out through the commanders and through the soldiers, and they're all listening to it. Somebody's already made a video from Ukraine with my song, which is very, very moving. I just saw it. Gosh, maybe it was just yesterday or the day before. So I'm grateful for that. Music's a healer. It always has been. And I'm just praying that this song will give these people some hope and that they'll be able to come back stronger than ever and that this war will end.
Yeah. Well, and a portion of the proceeds of this song will be distributed to Ukraine aid.
The more money the song makes, I'll give it all away. I don't care about making any money on this. I mean, we're already supporting Samaritan's Purse. They're on the ground. It's probably Franklin Graham's legacy of just what he does with Samaritan's Purse. There's sort of a war or there's a tornado or a tragedy, they're always on the ground. And
Mhm.
so they're right across the border in Poland, helping with the refugees, which has been huge. And the supplies that they're sending over is just enormous. It's just incredible. So that's one way that we're going to support, and there'll be other ways that we can support as well. This need is going to be great for a very, very long time. I mean, can you just imagine just your family and all your memories, and you're forced to leave everything that you've known your whole life, and you're sleeping on a cot in some refugee camp, like overnight. I mean, try to imagine that happening to us as Americans. We can't comprehend that. And that's what's happened to those people.
What's been so interesting to me and encouraging is the way that the world has really been united in their response to this crisis. We're all horrified. We're all devastated. This is not, a polarizing, divisive issue. It's been a weird sort of medium for unity.
It has. And I think that's a great thing. I mean, to be able to see Boris Johnson walking the streets yesterday, you know, in Kiev, I mean, that's pretty amazing. So, yeah, I just think, yeah, I just think there needs to be more of it. It needs to be a tsunami of unity. And I think it's just begun. But to be able to see some world leaders step up and say enough is enough, because you know what? If we don't stand up, this guy's going to continue to do what he does. So you have to stand up to it. I know it's complicated. There's a lot of complicated issues, and nobody wants a World War III and there's all that political stuff. But there's got to be a day that you just go, we're not going to stand for it, and we're going to stand up for these people. And I think that's what you're beginning to see all around the world, and that's a good thing.
Yeah. What challenge would you give to the body of Christ to not bury their heads in the sand? Because I think there is that temptation. There's so much going on. There's a pandemic, there's political division, there's the Ukraine crisis. Why do we need to be vocal about this?
Yeah. You know what? I think you got to be strong, courageous. I think you just got to stand up and speak out. You know, I'm not saying you have to go protest and you have to stop. You know, you don't want to be crazy, but you got to stand up and be a voice. I think that's the best thing, and not be silent. I mean, being silent says a lot. You know, so we got to stand up and support. And I think the best thing we can do is just pray. I mean, just really pray for a rescue. And, you know, that's a complicated thing too, because we all been praying for it and it hadn't happened. And so like, you just wonder where, okay, God, where are you? And makes me think of David in the Psalms. You know, everybody thinks the Psalms are him, you know, going, oh gosh, how majestic is your name? If you look at the Psalms, it's 75% of it's pretty traumatic. You know, like where are you? I mean, but you know what? I know he's got a plan, and I know he hears the cries of his people. And maybe if there's just an onslaught of prayer that goes all around the world, something might really shift. And that's what I'm praying for. So that's the best thing we can do. Yes, we can support organizations like Samaritan's Purse. There's tons of organizations now trying to help these refugees, which, as I said earlier, the need is great. So we can all be a part of the solution.
Yeah. You are so involved in so many charitable endeavors. It's just remarkable. I was reading about it this morning, but from battling AIDS in Africa to helping underprivileged youth in Tennessee, you're just, I mean, your hands are on so many things. What drives your passion for helping so many people? Because you kind of do it on the DL.
Well, I think that's what we're called to do. I just, you know, you're either going to be you're either going to be a rock star or you're going to be a servant, you know. And you know, we all have the ability to alleviate somebody's pain. We all do. And you know, but as my friend from England says, everybody wants to be the man, you know. And it's this whole ego thing, is everybody wants to be number one, everyone wants to make the most money. And you know, so many of us are driven by the wrong things. And some of the most miserable people I know are people who have a lot of things. And some of the happiest people I know are people who give their lives away. You know, I can always do better. I don't do enough. And, you know, so it's always a challenge for me I don't want to run myself in the ground feeling guilty, but I can always do more. And that's what I think we're all, as the body of Christ, especially as believers, that's what we're called to do. And if you look at what resonates with the heart of God, are you looking after the poor? Are you looking after the orphans, the homeless? I mean, those are all things that resonate with the heart of God. And if we're not about those kind of things, then we're missing the mark.
Has this always been your mentality? You can either be a rock star or a servant, because you've been in the Christian music world for a long time. So have you always been driven by this, or has that sort of developed over the years?
You know, I was driven by the wrong things, and I was wanting to know, did my song go number one? How much merch did we sell? And yeah, all that, you know, yeah. And it's just, I think hopefully as you get older, you get wiser. And then you start to kind of figure out, going, oh, hello, this is not about me. I think you realize that that's the big thing. And then you go, okay, so my mission in life, obviously there's nothing wrong with being successful. And I've enjoyed this amazing ride. But the platform is the beautiful thing, is what the platform allows you to do. And we all have a platform. I happen to have this platform where I've got these people all around the world listening to my music. It's just mind-boggling to me. But, you know, I have the ability and the capacity to be able to share with people sort of what brings the most happiness in someone's life, you know. And because I know I've done it, and being successful, if that's what drives you constantly the rest of your life, well, selling 1 million records is not enough. Next time you got to sell 2. Next time you got to sell 5. And it's just a never ending cycle that just will bury you. And I know, because I tried that, and it doesn't fulfill. It doesn't just fulfill that sort of gap, that emptiness. And serving people does. And you don't do it to make yourself feel good. You do it because it's the right thing to do.
Mhm.
And it does make you feel good, that you got to go, gosh, I got to help that person, especially all the Make-A-Wish Foundation kids that I've gotten to be friends with. And some of them made it and some of them didn't. Ugh, just awful. But you got to be a light in their lives. You get to sort of make somebody's life better.
Yeah,
And it doesn't get any better than that.
that's incredible. So Michael, what else is next for you? What do you have coming in the next few months that you can share with us?
Well, I'm going to start a tour, and I've been on a 3.5 month sabbatical, and
Okay.
the longest sabbatical I've ever taken. Well, in a long, long time. I haven't taken one that long in quite some time, and it was really good for me to sort of step back and go, okay, what am I doing this thing right? And just being still. And I spent a lot of time on my farm by myself, and so yeah, so I'm going to do this little a night at the piano. I've got my keyboard player coming with me, but I start the whole night and it's just me, mainly me, but my keyboard player joins me, and I sing all these songs that I've not sung in decades.
Mm.
That I've got this vast catalog, and some of these songs I think are some of the best things I've ever written. I'd never get to sing because you only got so much time. You get the band and all that and whatever. I'm excited about this tour, and I've never done anything like it. And so we got 22 shows. It starts on Wednesday night.
Oh, amazing. Come to Chattanooga.
Yeah, I need to. Absolutely. You're
Come
right down,
on.
you're right down the road.